spring, and in summer, and we go into fall. Seasons are changing. Changes in the air. The weather is getting a little bit cooler. The other night we were walking out of the church, and I know Floyd said it's dark. I said, after when August hits, we start getting a second shorter every day. So as the days go by in these last 4 months of the year, you're going to start getting dark. You're going to begin to see it getting darker quicker. It's change. But now I want you to draw your minds in. As Freddie plays the music, it's been a week of things happening. And my daughter said she came home on Monday and she was out of it. Staggering. We spent hours at the emergency room as they gave her medicine and monitored her blood pressure. Glory be to God, she was able to come home that night. Been a couple of days home in bed. Allowed the medication to take over and she got better. Only to find out Saturday morning my oldest brother had gotten sick and he went to the emergency room. They kept him for a while. Things are happening, things are changing. But you know what we depend upon? The Lord. He'll never leave you nor forsake you. I heard Mr. Caroline say that God has never failed her. Period. Not put a yet, put a period. Yet implies maybe one day it'll happen. I think he never failed me, period. Because he never want to fail you. Thank God for you today. I trust that everybody went through the fast. 3 days, 3 nights. Ready to see some things happening. I want everybody to close their eyes. And begin to see God. Begin to feel His presence surrounding you. Begin to experience the changes. The atmosphere shift. How God is going to bless you. Look forward to God doing something for you this day. Great is the Lord and greatly to be praised. He is great. Every day I'm realizing more and more how blessed I am to know Him. How blessed I am to be saved. Thank God for the opportunity and the privilege to deliver the letter, to bring forth His word. And thank God for the revelation He gives me about His word. And I feel the urgency and I feel the need to share it. When God is giving you something and you feel a tug in your heartstrings, you want to tell somebody. I'm thankful to God for that. And I thank you today for the Word of Truth family, the steadfast members, the one that say, I'll be here no matter what. It's time to eat. But man cannot live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. For that we are thankful. Today we want you to hear the word. We want you to eat the word. So amen. We thank the Lord today for this church and for you. They the word from the Lord today. And as always, I want everybody's attention. Whether you're a child or grown folks, I want you to be attentive. We're going to have to start allowing having the children to be attentive in services. There will be no more writing and coloring and things like that, because the word is too precious. They spend most of their time at school. When we get church, I want you to hear the word. So whatever you got in your hands, put it up. Put it aside. Because there are children in churches today that are getting the word. There are children that are listening. And one of the things that's been happening is that some churches, they've been giving kids iPads, phones, earphones, the things that occupy them. And it's taking their attention away from the Word of God. Now, I don't allow electronic devices, but writing and doing things, do your schoolwork during the school hours. But during church time, you're going to get the Word of God. If they can tell you to pay attention in school, then I can demand you pay attention in church. Amen? Amen. These are serious times. Yes. These children need foundation. Amen. There are too many influences out there. But today I want to invite your attention to the book of Joshua, the 24th chapter. And I'm going to say this to the First Lady. I appreciate what you did on last Sunday and going over to St. Stephen's, delivering the letter, and standing after you delivered that letter. You didn't take down the standard. They called for you. You delivered what you're supposed to do, and you had a mission. And you stuck with that mission. So I thank you for that. This is your Monday for going and the children. Amen. Thank y'all for going and being with the First Lady. Amen. Amen. She told me what happened, and I had the privilege of talking to that man's mother, and she was excited about it. But I pray he calls back. He said he wants to talk to me. God is going to get it done. Amen. We just need to be in place. Amen. Amen. But today I want to invite your attention to the 24th chapter of Joshua. We're going to read 15 verses, so you can remain seated. Gracie, my daughter this morning, she's better. And we're going to begin reading the very first verse. I trust that everyone's there. Joshua chapter 24. If you dare say I got it. I got it. And it reads, And Joshua gathered all the tribes of Israel to Shechem, and called for the elders of Israel, and for their heads, and for their judges, and for their officers, and they presented themselves before God. And Joshua said to all the people, Thus said the Lord God of Israel, Your fathers dwelt on the other side of the flood in old time, even Terah, the father of Abraham, and the father of Nahor, and they served other gods. And I took your father Abraham from the other side of the flood, and led him throughout all the land of Canaan, and multiplied his seed, and gave him Isaac. And I gave unto Isaac Jacob and Esau, and I gave unto Esau Mount Seir to possess it. But Jacob and his children went down into Egypt. I sent Moses also and Aaron, and I plagued Egypt according to that which I did among them. And afterward I brought you out. And I brought your fathers out of Egypt, and ye came unto the sea, and the Egyptians pursued after your fathers with chariots and horsemen unto the Red Sea. And when they cried unto the Lord, he put darkness between you and the Egyptians, and brought the sea upon them, and covered them. And your eyes have seen what I have done in Egypt, and you dwelt in the wilderness a long season. Yes. And I brought you into the land of the Amorites, which dwell dwelt on the other side of Jordan, and they fought with you, and I gave them into your hand, that ye might possess their land, and I destroyed them before you. Then Balak the son of Zippor, the king of Moab, arose and warred against Israel, and sent and called Balaam the son of Beor to curse you. But I would not hearken unto Balaam, therefore he blessed you still. So I delivered you out of his hand. And you went over Jordan and came unto Jericho. And the men of Jericho fought against you, the Amorites and the Perizzites and the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Girgashites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, and I delivered them into your hand. I sent the hornet before you, which dragged them out before you, even the two kings of the Amorites, but not with thy sword, nor with thy bow. And I've given you a land for which you did not labor, cities which you built not, and you dwell in them, of the vineyards and olive yards which you planted not, do ye eat. Now therefore fear the Lord, and serve him in sincerity and in truth, and put away the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood, and in Egypt, and serve ye the Lord. Verse 15. And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom you will serve, whether the God which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the God of the Amorites whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Thus is the reading of God's word. Let's give the Lord a hand praise.
Hallelujah.
I've used these scriptures before. But I want you to turn to a neighbor, as is the custom of Word of Truth, and look them in the eye and repeat these 6 words. I choose to serve the Lord.
Amen.
Turn to someone else and make the same statement. Say, I choose to serve the Lord. You got a hand praise once again.
Hallelujah.
As we read here in these scriptures, Joshua had gathered all the tribes together, along with their heads and their officers and judges and all the leaders that represented the 12 tribes of Israel, or the tribe that was there with them on this side. And he began to tell them or remind them of things that God had done for his people. Remind them how they were brought out, and even how Abraham, whose father was Terah, and Nahor, and all of them, how their fathers were serving other gods. He was basically giving background as to how far God had brought them.
Yes.
You know, there are times when the children of God, when God's people get to be a little bit big-headed, they seem to they think there's somebody. There's a tendency to forget where you came from. From time to time, I would hear about people who have made it in life. They probably came from humble beginnings, and most people come from humble beginnings. And they began to make a success out of themselves, or make a success in life, and they tend to want to forget where they came from. If they came out of the projects, and most of the time they don't want nobody to know they were project people. They once were living in poverty, probably were on food stamps, and probably came out of a dysfunctional household, and they don't want to be reminded of where they came from. They don't remember that. And here you have the children of Israel now. They've crossed over. Things are doing better. They've come through a lot of things. But somewhere along the line, some of them began to indulge themselves in the sin of the people that are around them.
Yes.
They began to indulge themselves in serving other gods. Joshua was saying, if you want to serve the other gods of the Amorites, whose land you not possess, and you do that. If you want to begin to go in another direction, then you do that. So Joshua basically said, I want to remind you, God has been good to you, and God is still good to you.
Yes.
I want to let you know you are God's people. You are God's chosen folk. So you have a pedigree. You have lineage.
Right.
If it were up to the enemy, you would not be in existence because the Egyptians came at you. Matter of fact, you saw what God did to your enemies while you were there in Egypt. How he sent the 10 plagues and people died, but y'all were spared. How when you came out of Egypt and you walked to the Red Sea, and when you got there, here comes Pharaoh trying to destroy you, and God opened the Red Sea and y'all walked across on dry land, and when the Egyptians came across, they were flooded and they were drowned.
Yes, come on.
So you've seen the power of God.
Yeah.
How God has been with you all this time.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're making some decisions that are just unright. And I got to remind you, and Joshua was in his old age now. I'm going to remind you now, you need to remind yourself who you are, who you're going to walk with.
Yes.
You know, we live in a day and time now where I know folks are in holiness churches. And it's getting to the point now where folks are not satisfied with being holy anymore.
Come on, Pastor.
They're getting to the point now they begin to feel their own self. I heard someone say they smell their own stink. All of a sudden now, they just don't want to be subject to nobody in the church. Submissiveness and holiness has become a problem.
Come on.
When you first came over into holiness, you ready to hear what God said to you. You know, you came out of darkness into this marvelous light.
Yes.
You had no problem with hearing leadership. You had no problem with obeying leadership. All of a sudden now it's a problem.
My Lord.
Well, the enemy gets in your ear.
Yeah, he
and he tells you, you know what, you ain't got time to be going to church and hearing the pastor preach. Somebody else out there can tell you, you can make your own way, make your own rules. You got him grown now. Some kind of way, the attitude of being humble and being a child of God, that has changed.
My God.
All of a sudden now everybody is grown. And not only that, everybody wants to be somebody important. You got a place and time now where everybody got a title. Go to churches now, ain't nobody in there, just a regular old child of God. Give me a title to go along with my name. I'm not just satisfied with being saved. Make me a bishop. Make me an apostle. Make me a district elder. I got to be somebody important.
God, help us, Lord.
Well, as I began to look at the scriptures, I began to see what Joshua was talking about. Mr. Caroline, I've read this scripture probably 100 times. And I notice how I begin to read when God sends me back somewhere. It's to open my understanding to further revelation.
Yes.
That's what I like about God. When you begin to seek, ye shall find.
Yes, yes.
And there are times God will show you things that you weren't even looking for.
Right.
And it amazes me how God can bring out your understanding about a scripture. And you think you got it together, no, I'm going to show you something else.
Now.
I began to look at that word, the word that Joshua said in the 15th verse of the 24th chapter. When it choose ye this day, whom ye shall serve. And for years I focused on the word choose. And I kept looking at choose. And I kept trying to find what am I going to do with the word choose that I haven't already used it before. What's different about choose? God said, I don't want you to focus on choose. I want you to focus on the word serve. Well, Lord. He said, because I want you to know that what Joshua was saying to the people. He said, choose ye this day whom you will serve. Y'all ain't hearing me.
Come on now.
Now, I want to bring out your understanding about that. Notice what Joshua said to Israel. He didn't say, choose ye this day whom you're going to be blessed by.
Come on.
He said, choose you this day whom you're going to worship. He said, choose who you're going to serve. Y'all ain't hearing me. And God began to show me, he said, now I want you to take your time and go back and begin to do some study on that word, serve. Serve means to work for.
Come on.
It means to come out and do duties, carry out duties. And serve means a person employed to do work. And so what Joshua was saying to the children of Israel, Choose ye this day who you're going to work for.
All right. Oh, yeah.
I wish I would get with me on this
Yes,
thing.
sir. Come on and preach
I
it.
feel it about all of y'all feel it
Come
enough.
on, preach it.
He was telling Israel, choose ye this day who you're going to work for.
Yes.
Now I understand something. A lot of folks have got this thing mixed up, First Lady.
Come on now.
They think when they come to church and put on their glad rags and they sit down in the pews and listen to somebody preach or get happy about a certain song or clap their hands or shake a few hands, smile and go back home, they think they're served. I heard this when I was younger growing up. I used to hear the old folks say that you go to service today. They were basically saying that you go to church. Coming to church ain't service. Service is when you go out there, out of these doors, and begin to help somebody or share word with somebody about God or trying to help somebody through life.
Come on now, that's it.
You ain't hearing me?
Yes, sir.
And what's been happening in the church today is everybody saying, I want to serve the Lord. But when it says, I want to be blessed. Notice that is not what Josh was saying. Who you going to be blessed by, but who you going to serve.
Come on, Pastor. Yeah. Yes, sir.
I'm finding out why churches today are emptying out. Why folks don't want to be in the house of God no more. That why folks are going in front of find somewhere to go where they can sit down and do nothing. I remember I had some folks in this church, and I want you to be the Sunday school superintendent. I want you to be over the youth department, but no longer want to do any work. People want to come to church and just sit down and do nothing. But Joshua asked the question, who you going to work for? The bottom line, the folks don't want to work no more. Yeah, it's easy to find church members and church goers, but where are the workers? I heard one person say, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Joshua said, where are the workers? Saints, we acting like a bunch of spoiled brats. Everybody coming to church, they want someone to prophesy to them about when God gonna bless you with my money. I'm gonna get in my car and my career. We act like spoiled brats, waiting for an allowance from a rich father. But God ain't about that. He wants to know who are you gonna serve.
Yes. Preach.
Because Joshua saw they were working toward their own end. You're working to do what you want to do in your flesh, but you ain't serving the Lord. Saints, I thank God for the few that we have here who want to serve. I realize that somebody said a long time ago, God called those that are busy. He don't call the lazy folks. He don't call the folks that want to sit on the pews and do nothing. A lot of folks don't want to do their job in the church. Some people are called to be choir directors and choir members, and folks don't want to do that. They come to church only when it serves their purpose. I'll be at church if there's a big program going on so I can be seen. Oh, I see something here. I want you to know the day when you are a servant, you ain't going to be celebrated or applauded. Go to these restaurants and these waitresses and waiters, they are servants. How many folks clap their hands every time they see a servant? They sit down and wait to be served. Saints, God is waiting on his servants to step forth and get to work. Too many people are coming to church to be served. They want to be the big wig. They want to be the CEO, big baller, shot caller. I want to come to church and sit down and be served. I want to come to church and sit in the front of the church. Put me in the pulpit. Folks, bring me water. bring me a fan so I can look like somebody. But you're calling yourself a servant. No, you ain't. You ain't nothing but a pretender. You ain't nothing but a perpetrator and a fraud. You ain't no servant. You somebody wants to be put on a pedestal. But Joshua asked the question to the people of Israel, choose ye this day whom you will serve.
Serve. Yes, Lord. My God.
I've been seeing it. I see now what's going on. Yeah. Folk walk out of small churches because the pastor going to ask them to do something. I want you to go dry the church van. I want you to go over to Mother Drinkwater's house, help her with her grass. I want you to come down to the church and clean up, saints. I can feel the day. Before I became a pastor, before I became a preacher, or even a minister, God had me in line for service. I went down to the church with Pastor Turner, Brother Turner. We go down and clean the church up. We got joy in just doing that. And we do that for a while. And then after I began to do that for a while, I was called to be a deacon. Deacons had duties around the church, took care of church business as a deacon. Did those things that counted money there that I was supposed to do. Then I was a Sunday school teacher. I taught the children. It's right, I said children and the teenagers. I spent time doing that. And after I did that for a while, God called me to ministry. I never thought I would be a minister. What you saying, Pastor Stegall? I didn't realize what God was doing was He was qualifying me for servitude in ministry. Saints, I feel sorry for all those people who want to jump in the pulpit and preach the gospel, but they ain't had no experience in servitude. They think preaching the gospel is getting behind the pulpit and having folks jump and throw their wigs, but they'll find out they're not effective because I said this years ago, they don't have a servant's heart. And when you don't have a servant's heart, you don't want to serve. You want somebody to pat you on the back, give you some money to preach, buy you some clothes, and make you feel like you're somebody. But Joshua, he told them, as for me and my house, we're going to work for the Lord. We're not going to sit back and try to be something big. We're going to serve. We're going to work.
Amen. Service means work. I got it. That's good.
I understand now. I found out why people can't seem to find no more satisfaction with coming to church. I understand now why folks go to bigger churches. They go somewhere else. You know what it's all about? God gave me the revelation. He said that all of a sudden now they're bored with coming to church because they ain't doing nothing, because they ain't serving no more. That's what they get bored with. See, when you're serving, God keeps you busy with the kingdom. When you're serving, God has always something for you to do. When you're serving, you don't get bored. But when you come to church and want to be entertained by the preacher, entertained by the folks around you, that means you are not a servant. You ain't nothing but a hireling. Somebody that's there for what you can get out of it. God is sick and tired of the hirelings. He's looking for the servants. Y'all ain't hearing me. One writer said, I'd rather be a servant in the house of God than to dwell in the tents of wickedness, or doorkeeper in the house of God than to dwell in the tents of wickedness. But everybody wants to be somebody big. I come and tell you today, I want you to make up your mind what you're going to do. Stop saying you choose to be in God's house and to serve God when you really don't want to do nothing but come in and sit down and be applauded, pat me on the back, pat me on the head, always reaffirm them somebody. I was servant.
Yes, Lord. Oh, yes, Lord. Jesus help us.
And when you're a servant, you take pride in what you do. Now, y'all ain't hearing me.
Come on. Right.
I want you to notice something. I was reading in Matthew, the 25th chapter, when they talked about the one that had the talent. And it was a parable given by Jesus. And in this parable, the one that had the 10 and the 2, they got busy and worked with what they had. Y'all ain't hearing me.
Yes.
And when they came back, the master said, well done, thy good and faithful what? Servant. Y'all ain't hearing me. If you want to hear God say, well done, when it comes to your life, you better be working for him. Y'all ain't hearing me. God is sick and tired of all these retired saints who don't come in church, sitting back, then found a comfortable place in the pews, taking a nap on church time, having a good time watching folks do work. Lord have mercy. I heard someone say, I like to watch other folks work. Well, you know what? You ain't going to get nothing out of that. The ones that working, they get the reward. You ain't hearing me. But the ones that watching, they get nothing.
Come on, Pastor.
Thanks, guys.
I don't know what's wrong with the church today. Why is it that people go on these jobs and they get busy? Tell me a job where they hire you to do a job and you sit there and get comfortable and watch everybody work. I don't see nobody getting paid on a job where they doing nothing. Mr. Caroline got a job. Yes, she's a manager at Wendy's, but Caroline ain't sitting back watching nobody. She makes sure all the work is getting done. I went to Wendy's several times. She back there making hamburgers. She back there doing things. Even though she is the manager, she is what? Serving Wendy's. And she teaches others to do the same. As a pastor of this church, I am a servant, and I'm teaching y'all to do the same thing. I'm trying to get the folks get off the stool of do nothing and get busy. But I'm finding out every time we turn around, folks are trying to find somewhere to go. Let me go find me a comfortable place, a comfortable church where nobody knows me and nobody's going to call me. I can sit there and hide among the stuff, and I ain't got to do nothing but just enjoy Jesus. Well. You're going to have to give an account to God for what God has given you. I gave you my power. I gave you my spirit. I gave you my word. What did you do with it? Were you a servant?
My God. Help us, Jesus.
See, the misconception is this. Every time you go somewhere, somebody is in the flesh, speaking to the flesh, and not to the spirit man.
Come on.
Every time you go somewhere, someone is prophesying about how you finna get blessed.
Come on.
But I begin to wonder after last night, the Lord, let me understand this. What kind of reward or favor God put on those who are unprofitable servants? Why would God put you in a season of blessings when you won't serve?
Ooh-wee. Jesus.
And I understand that. People are prophesying to folks